Shalom, Call Allah Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives to do so. To the scattered hopeful elect across the four corners of the earth, and those among the heathen nations that look like the heathen nations, pursuant to Jeremiah 12:9, known as the speckled birds. This is not a black thing. I am disciple of Parium, a follower of Great Millstone, coming to you with a lesson in truth and sincerity. And simply, I kind of wanted to land back on Elder Yashawamba from GMS Dallas, regarding Vocab's, pursuit of, folly. He got all his money, from the Jesuits to try to confound us and keep their secrets a secret. But he's actually doing us more of a favor in bringing Akim Akwath into this truth. So essentially, we do fit the curses. Thus saith the Bible. So he asked the question to us. It was an unaffiliated camp that was not part of GMS over in England, and he was saying, "How do you know? How can you tell if the Israelites fit the curses today?" Roughly paraphrasing, how can you prove it? It's basically what he was going into. So, with that, I want to go ahead and read Deuteronomy 24. 45 and 46, but mainly the point in verse 46. It says, "Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed." And destroyed as a spiritually destroyed, not physically destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord Yahweh thy power, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which he commandeth thee. Now, verse 46, and I'm going to go into the blue letter and look at some of these words, because, once you start to understand and read the Hebrew and go into the lexicon, it's very powerful. Verse 46, "And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever." Okay, so I want to go to the word sign. Strong's H226. Awath. Awath. From right to left. And it says token, ensign, standard, miracle, proof. Okay. And when you go to the Slaki, you go to etymology real quick. That word proof in etymology means evidence and argumentation to establish the fact of something beyond a reasonable doubt. This proof, test, also goes into the word experience. Okay, when we've experienced a lot of these curses, they match up with the so-called Negroes, so-called Hispanics, and so-called Native Americans. And those are the speckled birds as well. So you look at our experiences and how they match up with the Deuteronomy 28. Now let's go to Deuteronomy. See, so I can go back. Chapter 30. I want to read verse 1. It says, "And it shall come to to pass when all these things are come upon thee, the blessings and the curse which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations, whither the Lord thy power have driven thee. You look at that word call. It's Shawub. And then let's see. There's return, bring back. Okay. Yeah, to turn back. So let's go to Baruch. Verses 30 to 33. It says, "For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves, and shall know that I am the Lord their power. For I will give them a heart and ears to hear." Okay, verse 33. Verse 32. "And they shall praise me in the land of their captivity, and think upon my name." Okay. And let's see. Verse 33. "And return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds, for they shall remember the way of their fathers, which sinned before the Lord." All right. That's to bring back. So we're, essentially these dry bones are awakening, okay, from being spiritually dead. So the Lord, will give us a spirit to discern why these struggles have been upon us, and the curses are an indicator. Bad things have occurred with, other nations, but it seems to have been worse among us. Why is it that everyone, when they think of shackles and the yoke of iron, immediately they think about us, about Jake? Small hats never went through the transatlantic slavery, for example, okay? There's a lot of things in those curses from Deuteronomy 28:15 on down to 68. They never went through any of those. All right, you read that Deuteronomy 28:48, and it reads, "Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies with which the Lord Yahweh Shai have sent against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee." Okay. And so, you got to ask yourself, what is the standard of the JOOs in marking them their selves as the Israelites of the Bible? How come Vocab don't answer that? There's a lot of things he don't answer for. We're not doing any of that bombing or anything like that over in Gaza. We're just speaking, but we're more of a threat. So back in Deuteronomy 30 verse 1, the word mind, let's go back over there. Labab, labab, right? And it's heart, soul, understanding. All right, you see it right there? Heart, you got soul right there. Mind, knowledge, thinking, reflection, understanding, okay? So the Lord will give us a conscience in our minds, in our la'abs, okay? Now let's go back to Deuteronomy 28:46. I want to look at that word wonder. We see it says, and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder. So Strong's H4159, ma-wapath. Ma-wapath. So this will be a sign. It's like a miracle, portent. That word portent actually goes into like a bad omen that's going to happen. All right. Token of future or a future event. So we go down to let's see. I want to read the lexicon. No, not there. It's lucky. Right here. So you see where it says Chaldee Hebrew lexicon. You want to tap on that to view, and then you want to read verses 2 and 3. It says a sign of proof as of divine protection, okay, of the divine justice in punishing the wicked. All right, is often used for a sign given by a prophet, because the Most High speaks to the men, his prophets, to cause that which has been predicted or promised to be believed. All right, and right here it says a sign of an event or portent. All right. So yeah, the Lord didn't put us away. Let's go to John. It's like my notes are all over the place. I think it's Zechariah 3:8 first. It says, the branch, hear now, O Joshua, the high priest, thou and thy fellows that sit before thee, for they are men wondered at. For behold, I will bring forth my servant, the branch. All right, the word branch is tazamach. Okay, it's it's interesting that it's all in capitalized. Sprout. It says sprout shoot of Messiah from the Davidic tree. Okay, and from there, that's why I want to go to Isaiah 8:18. Behold, I am I and the children whom the Lord Yahweh Shai hath given me are for the signs and for our wonders in Israel, for the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai of hosts, which dwelleth in Mount Zion. And that links up with John 7:38. But this spake he of the Spirit. Salaki, that's 39. He that believeth on me, as the scriptures have said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. Okay, that branch. That's through the seed line of the man, not through the seed line of the woman, and how these these small hats go ahead and trace their lineage somehow. Let's see, go to Ezekiel. I believe it was 12 and 6. In their sight shall thou bear it upon thy shoulders, and carry it forth in the twilight. Thou shalt cover thy face, and thou shalt see not the ground, for I have set thee for a sign to the house of Israel. And these are just things that kind of line up with that word wonder within Deuteronomy 28 and 46. Say, I am your sign, like as I have done, so shall it be done unto them. They shall remove and go into captivity. Let's see. So Ezekiel 24. And 24. Thus saith Ezekiel, is unto you a sign according to all that he hath done, shall ye do. And when this cometh, ye shall know that I am the Lord. Power. Verse 27. Skip down. So in that day shall thy mouth be open to him which is escaped, and thou shalt speak and be no more dumb, and thou shalt be a sign unto them, and they shall know that I am the Lord. Now, when you get that root word, going back to Deuteronomy 28, 46, here's where it gets really interesting. So we say this all the time amongst the brothers. The word wonder, right? The root word is yapa. So the word yapa, be bright, be beautiful, handsome, to beautify oneself. But we always say kind of endearedly with each other. That's yapa. That's beautiful. That's great. And what's going to be yapa is us right here. Is these last couple verses. Is Sirach 25, verse 7. And it reads, there be 9 things which I have judged in my heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that hath joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. And that's going to happen. That'd be a beautiful thing, Lord willing. We're a part of that number. Now let's go to Wisdom of Solomon. Sluggy. And before I go to Wisdom of Solomon, I wanted to read Deuteronomy 28:37. This is one of the curses. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword. You guys, niggas, spicks or whatever, right? Among all nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee. Okay? Still call that to today. Now, I want to read Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, to add some context to that. All right, I want to read 1 through 7. I'm going to read it in the GNT. You guys will follow along. I'm going to scroll down. And it reads, on that day, someone righteous, full of confidence, will stand before those who oppressed him and made light of his labors. Verse 2, they will be amazed to see him safe and will tremble with terrible fear. Verse 3, then they will regret what they did, and groaning in anguish, they will say to each other, this is the one who we made fun of, who we thought he was a joke. What fools we were. We thought he was crazy to live the way he did. And when he died, we didn't honor him. Verse 5, and now he is one of Yahweh's own children, with a place of his own among Yahweh's people. We were the ones who wandered off the right road. We never lived in the light of righteousness. This is talking about Esau, right? It says we never caught the first glimmer of its light. All of our lives, we wandered across unmarked deserts. It's lucky. Instead of following the road which the Lord wanted us to travel. And this lawlessness led us to ruin. All right? But that verse 3 right there, that's what really hits with that Deuteronomy 28 and 37. I'll read it in the KJV. And they, repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit, shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision, and a proverb of reproach. Okay? So yeah, they had us in derision. We were, a proverb and called all kinds of things. But at the end, it's gonna be Yapa. Because we're gonna get, that righteous that's gonna be a befall upon the Most High's children. All right. So with that, again, this is the lesson saying going into, that we do fit the curses. Thus says the Bible, vocab. So with that, Kwam Yashrala, Shalom, on to the next.